running through these Grand National entries as they stand at the moment. Of course, there may be one drawn out here and there, and who knows, Henderson's Shaka Laka Boom Boom may sneak in to the bottom of the weights. I must apologise, in the first part, the first runner right at the top of my list, you thought I would have got that right, Tidal Bay. I said that was trained by Willie Mullins. It obviously wasn't. I've got that mixed up with On His Own, of course, came second, and they're owned by the same person. But somebody who always is on his own at races, because quite frankly, nobody wants to be with him. Billy, you're in the you're covering the next one, Colbert Station.
I am often alone at racing, yeah. So a quick thumbs up to Quito de la Roque for Sandy, because I do like that.
Thumbs up if we can.
Quito de la Roque.
Again, so that was a useful use of our decision mechanism. Colbert Station, please, Billy.
Yeah, he came into this last year, Tom. He ran in this race last year. He looked to have excellent prospects. He was in really good form, and Ted Walsh got him here. He was a 12-to-1 shot, AP on board. Unfortunately, he didn't complete. I think he unseated at the 15th, the chair. Since then, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. So he has shown his old form, and he's not always shown it this year. It's not ideal that he fell in his prep race over in Ireland in beginning of March. That's not ideal. But he's no higher in the handicap. It would take a good training performance. But if Ted Walsh has got him here fit and well, he would have a chance.
Unseated at the chair. Couldn't write it. But decision then, Colbert Station. For Ted Walsh. Somewhere in between and a slight element of doubt. In fact, you're looking at me with quite a blank expression, if not derogatory.
It was a look of disgust.
It was a look of disgust. Let's crack on. The next one in is a bit of a monkey of a horse, if you ask me, and it's Jono's one to cover. It's Walk On.
Alan King said in the weekend, the horse is on course for entry. The pros are that last year came second in the Topham to Triola Delaine. So he likes the fences. However, the trip has to be a massive worry for me. Last time out, 3 miles, 86 lengths, fourth to Harry Topper. Scottish National, pulled up. And for me, I just don't think this horse is going to get the trip.
Yeah, but I actually quite like that. I've seen the big odds of horses that have been coming in these nationals, and I just think you might as well look for bad form now. It's as good as finding good form in this race sometimes. But Walk On, for me, I was going to say fingers up or down. You do things over there, but thumbs up and down.
I think it's a down for me.
Won't stay.
Won't stay, so there's a bit of a downer in general there. Thumbs down overall, apart from Billy's wavering hand for Walk On. Next one, back across to you, Sandy. What are we looking at here? Balthazar King on a bit of a run, isn't he?
Yeah, I love Balthazar King. He's been an absolutely fantastic horse. Obviously, he's the cross-country specialist. He just seems to enjoy the nature of that race. It's sort of like, obviously, it's a bit of a stop-start sort of the way the race is run, and it seems to suit him perfectly. And obviously he got up to beat any currency at the festival in a head-bobbing finish. He has run in the Grand National before, finishing it at 15th. He's not going to get his own way up front, and I just think he's going to be outstayed by something else.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least we know what's going to happen there. It's going to be, Hobbs, Dickie Johnson, surely going to be riding Balthazar King. They've struck up some partnership together.
I would love the horse to run well, but I can't see him winning the race.
You can't see him winning it. Billy, Jono and Sandy, if we can have a decision on this one. Balthazar King. Oh, very mixed. When are we all going to get three thumbs pointing to the sky? It may well be now. Mr. Moonshine. Sue Smith trains, of course, the trainer of Aurora's Encore. Mr. Moonshine.
I've got Wayward Prince, Tom, here for me.
Yeah, I've got Mr. Moonshine.
Well, then we'll come to you first then, Jono. Mr. Moonshine before Wayward Prince.
Tom, you've mucked up the order, Tom. It's all gone wrong now.
Sorry, we have to stick by the order. Fine. OK, Wayward Prince, Billy.
Wayward Prince, OK.
Not you yet.
The Grand National, the home of the story. If you like a great story, this Wayward Prince is trained by owner-trainer Hilary Parrott. So he would not be the best known person in racing, she wouldn't mind me saying. Trains this horse herself. Be a massive story. He's actually really, really well handicapped on the best of his form. He hasn't been the easiest to train, but he is a really classy performer on his day. And you could just see him going really well. And if you like the romance of the Grand National and you're having a fiver each way, go for Wayward Prince, Hilary Parrott, 50-1.
The romance of standing in the rain on your own in the Grand National really is a picture. But Wayward Prince, as you say, trained by owned and Mrs. Parrot. Have you got 2 parrots on his shoulder that are going to echo the positive vibes? Can we have a show for that one?
He should have beaten Harry Topper, shouldn't he, that day earlier on in the season?
Can we have you? Well, it looks positive enough for me. It's something that I can only imagine will be a big price out there at the moment. Wayward Prince, Mr. Moonshine. I did jump the gun, but it is your turn now, Jono.
General 50 to 1 chance. I backed this horse last year, actually, all those pulled up.
And you laughed because you backed it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, only small. I just thought, at the price, I think it was about 100 to 1 or something. I just thought, maybe. Fingers crossed. But anyway, he's had 7 runs this season. That's quite a few runs, and he does have some quite good form in Aintree, 3rd in the Beecher Chase, and indeed in the Old Rowan Chase, 4th to Conquisto. Quite good form, obviously likes the track, I just don't think he's very well handicapped, maybe. I don't know, just not really...
Okay, it'd be remarkable for the trainer, wouldn't it, to come back and do it again? Of course, Aurora's encore was, was it, double carpet, wasn't it? 66s.
Exactly the same connection, same owner, same trainer. It would be good.
It would be something else. And do we think that it's going to be something else, something out of the blue, Mr. Moonshine? Can we have a decision on this one, please? Again, not much to note there. The next one is T for 3. Now, if you do fancy T for 3 in the Grand National, we're running an exclusive offer here at BetRacingNation. Simply log on to sign into the BetRacingNation.com website and follow the links to our competition. Now, if this horse, T for 3, mind you, it is top of it's the bookies' favourite at the moment, around 9 or 10 to 1. And if this horse finishes in the first 2 and you've entered, retweeted and followed BetRacingNation on Twitter, you may well be in for T for 3 at the Ritz. T for 3 at the Ritz. Is it likely to come first or second? Is it worth entering that competition, Sandy?
Yeah, I think he's worthy favourite, isn't he? And currently 10 to 1. When we were behind the studio earlier on, we were looking at prices to see who is likely to go off favourite this year, and T for 3 was current price of 5 to 2. That could be worth taking because I can't see any other horses being favourite on the day. He's rated £2 lower than his 3rd last year in the race, behind Kappa Bleu and Aurora's Encore. Tonight, Rebecca Curtis actually revealed on Twitter that Nick Schofield will take the ride again. I feel Nick might actually hold on to T for 3 a little bit longer this time because he kicked for home quite early with the other 2, and I have a feeling that this time around he might hold on to him for a little bit longer. I think he's worthy favourite, and I think he's got a big chance.
Positive vibes and a big chance. It's unlikely, of course, for a favourite to win a national, but again, I'm not going to bore you with stats, but we'll have a general decision on T for 3 for again, you can't obviously turn a blind eye to it, but are we wavering or are we thumbs up?
It's thumbs up. He's jumping to big asset as well.
There we go, bang, 3 thumbs up for T for 3. Surely more news to enter that competition, only so could even come runner-up and you could be dining at the Ritz. I've heard it's champagne as well as tea, which is, of course, the upmarket version of vodka Red Bull these days. But
is that what you have, Tom?
It's the caffeine-alcohol combination where you get yourself going, but you also feel a bit rough. But I won't talk about that for much longer because the next one up, very interesting runner, of course, and a bit of a... across the bay. It's been around the course a couple of times, hasn't it?
Yeah, interesting. I mean, never mind stats on favourites and nonsense like that. I mean, Across the Bay has something important in his on his card. He's trained by Donald McCain, obviously the McCain family associated with Red Worm, Amberley House. No final yard to get a horse ready. He actually ran really well last year in this. In the end, he was beaten, I think, 87 lengths. He did have some trouble going round, but he did run well for a long way. And he's a real sort of tough, old-fashioned chaser. And you can just... if Donald's got him right for the day, you could just see him going well, and I wouldn't think he was without a chance, despite last year's. Still
might be in there with a chance.
Yeah,
then, and I don't know whether we've got some latest odds on that, but like the rest of them, it's probably going to be at least sort of 25s, 33s, isn't it? So it's something around there at the moment.
Yeah, I think so.
For an each way, he'll definitely run in there. Yeah. We all know that.
He ran a bad race in the trial, but he was held up. He doesn't like being held up.
Yeah, so I'm anticipating.
50 to 1, Tom.
It is 50 to 1. 50. Well, there you go. It might be worth it. Or is it not?
He would need to get his own way a little bit, and he's not going to get that in the national. So
your thumbs down?
Yeah.
Thumbs up, and Jono on the end there, so we can have a...
Yeah.
Sorry, did you nod off?
You just went from a yes to a no there.
I'm sure you're...
Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking about...
777. Jono, this is your time to shine, mate. Sorry for keeping you waiting. 777.
Oh, it's fine. 777, this trainer hasn't had a runner in the UK since the 08-09 season. Furthest swim was over 3 mile, 1 furlong. You'd want to have maybe good ground, I reckon. This horse has got quite a poor record on soft or heavy. Winner of the Munster National, beating Spring Heeled, no less. Winner of the King Muir at Cheltenham, and that's obviously great form. Has gone up £7 since that race, since the Munster National. Is on a career high mark, but certainly an interesting contender. Has a strike rate of 1 in 3, by the way.
Right.
And has won an awful lot of prize money for a horse that's never run in a graded race.
So are these all positive vibes then?
They're positive vibes. 33 to 1. Maybe 66 would be attractive, but 33 to 1 sort of puts me off a bit.
For some reason, you're clearly not convincing, but thumbs up, thumbs down on this one?
I don't really know much about it.
Right, okay, well, unconvincing. Despite all these positive vibes that Jono goes on about, it's thumbs down. Surprised me there, Jono. Gosmid Judge, got a bit of form in the book. Quite short, I wouldn't say short, still 20 to 1, but for an Ante-post national bet, short as 20 to 1 for Gosmid Judge, Sandy. Is that value?
Well, he's last year's, obviously, Scottish Grand National winner. He won off a mark of 139. He's now off a mark of 148 for this race. He's a proven stayer who likes good ground, but his jumping can be untidy. He'd have to have his head in the race early on to stand any chance in this, because he just seems to not... I don't know, he just doesn't concentrate early on. If he doesn't do that, his chance is going to be gone straight away. I'd personally like to see Wayne Hutchinson ride the horse rather than Robert Thornton. He won the Scottish National on him, Wayne Hutchinson. I'd like him to keep the ride. Alan King did report when he pulled up in the Grimthorpe at Doncaster earlier in the month that he had suffered some sort of stress problem. I don't know exactly what come to light of that, but he's in the race.
Stress problem.
Yeah.
We've all had those.
Yeah, it must have been maybe a stress fracture, but I'm not actually too sure. But he's currently 28 to 1, and he's 28 to 1 on the exchange as well, suggesting that he's going to line up for the race.
So up, down, or in between then for this one. Going to have to get a decision, I'm afraid, Sandy.
It's a complete maybe, because you just don't know what Gogsby Judd's going to turn up.
But Billy's positive.
Oh yeah.
And Jono, yourself. Somewhere in between, positive vibe somewhat, but expected with how it's going in the market. Now Battle Group, I'm looking at it, and it doesn't look like numbers. It's mainly letters in the form. PRP, some sort of banking term, isn't it? Battle Group.
He's a really interesting horse, Tom. I mean, last year he had quite a remarkable double at this meeting. He won a handicap hurdle by 10 lengths, and then 2 days later he came out in a handicap chase, won by 16 lengths. Massive double performance, and then he went on to complete the hat-trick at Haydock in the latter stage of the season. He's wow. But this year,
so he's got it in the tank.
He's got it in the tank, but quirky isn't the word. This horse is quirky beyond belief. And yes, this year he's refused to race. He was pulled up in his first run. I think last time he set off well and then dropped into the hole. I couldn't have him. Fair play if Johnny Fowley can get him here to win this, but it's not likely.
Not likely.
No.
So is that going to be a thumbs down? Can we have a show across the panel here?
Clearly likes Aintree.
Sandy's given it somewhat a mention there for, of course, Battle Group. Now, one that's got question marks teetering all over it. It's the first time I think I've seen this. Trained by Henry de Bromhead, who hasn't had the most sparkling of seasons, but Bucker's Bridge, Jono.
Bucker's Bridge in those famous colours. I think the main question here is whether the trip's going to be suitable. I mean, he's been running over 2 miles to 2 miles 6 mainly. They tried him over 3 mile 1 last time at Fairy House, and he came third on his own, which is great form. But that's his only try over that sort of trip. So, it's in the lap of the gods whether or not this trip is suitable. Third on his own. Come on, that's good form. I mean, the horse just comes second in the Gold Cup. So, but having said this, for me, the trip is a concern, and I don't think is the type to enjoy. You've got to be
some sort of type
around the national course. Yeah.
Around the national course, you certainly got to be the right one. But a show of hands and thumbs and whatever you want to put out there for this one. Oh, it's down. It's down.
I think trainers are positive.
Trainers are positive, and you see those silks, and we'll all be urging it along, I'm sure. But Bucker's Bridge, then, is one that the panel won't be backing. T for 3, however, is something that we've all come to a conclusion on, seems to be the good thing at the moment as far as this preview continues.